Hello everyone, welcome to my review of Blade, and also welcome to the multiversal adventures, I guess, that we're gonna have right now, because right now, after Loki Season 2 for the MCU, we are going through some of the multiversal stuff. Obviously, starting where Marvel, in my opinion, technically started, because while they had some movies before Blade, this is the one where it's like, yeah, this is the good one. This is the good one. Like, the other stuff was not good, but this is good. And, of course, we're starting it with 90s edgy cheese movie, but that doesn't mean that the movie is bad, because I loved it. Still, I am curious at the end of the movie, what does ice skating uphill mean? Like, what does that even mean? He says a line in this movie towards the end of the movie about ice skating uphill, and it's like, what's that supposed to mean? I know probably the writers thought that it sounded really cool, but like, boy. But that's the kind of one-liners Blade drops in this movie, because it's full of 90s cheese, baby. But I am so here for it. Also, apparently this is not available on Disney Plus, at least not here in the Netherlands, so I had to go back to the old ways. And no, I don't mean pirating. What I mean when I say the old ways, it's grabbing a DVD off the shelf and putting it in my PlayStation in order to watch it, which is technically the old days, because nowadays everything is streaming or digital or whatever. So then, what is this movie about? First of all, before we get started, I would say, I'd like to say that this movie was directed by Stephen Norrington, and it's about Blade, the Daywalker, the vampire who does not necessarily have any of the vampire weaknesses outside of needing to drink some blood. And he is also, you know, basically the perfect balance between human and vampire. Basically that. And he's fighting against vampires. That's it. That is the best that I can give it to you guys, because, I mean, yes, there is also a bad guy, but just like any other Marvel movie, kind of during these times, they're bad. The bad guy is bad. This one is bad. This is not necessarily a good bad guy, but to me, he's a serviceable bad guy. Like, he's fine. That is my opinion of him. The actor does a good job. He just doesn't get material to really shine, but that's because it's a Blade movie, so I don't really care. So let's get straight into the casting then, shall we? So starting off, we had Wesley Snipes as Eric Brooks, also known as Blade, boys. Yes, indeed, Blade himself. There can only ever be one in the movies, because I like to add that little part. Look, that line is from Deadpool Wolverine, but I like to add that extra part because there was a Blade TV series, and apparently that one is canon to this, but also maybe not, so I'm not gonna talk about it, just in case you're wondering. I'm not gonna talk about it during this stuff, so maybe one day, but yeah, no, not doing it. But anyway, in the movies wise, there's only ever been one, because for some reason Marvel just cannot do it. The MCU just cannot give us Blade, and he's fantastic. Wesley Snipes does a really good job in the role. I'm a big fan of Wesley Snipes as Blade. He is so good and so cringe as well, and I love him for it, by the way. Then after that, we have Stephen Dorff as Deacon Frost, our main bad guy who wants to become some kind of like god or whatever. He wants to resurrect the vampire god. That's basically his plan. Like I said, not really the best, but to be honest, he is serviceable for what the story has to offer. Then after that, we have Chris Christopherson. Alright, double Chris. We got double Chris as Abraham Whistler. And sadly enough, apparently in 2024, this actor passed away, so RIP the boy. But he portrays Whistler, who is Blade's mentor, father figure, and also basically the one who makes his weapons. That is what he is, and he was also pretty good in the role. Very much enjoyed him in this movie. Then after that, we have, oh my god, why? We have Anne Bush Wright as Dr. Karen Jensen. She is a doctor at a hospital, but through events, she gets entangled with Blade after being bitten by a vampire, so that is a bit sad. And her whole thing in this movie is finding a cure. So we're also kind of dealing with that. However, I will say this, while I did like some of the scenes that she has, that whole finding a cure thing is really pushed into the background. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is a less than 2-hour-long movie, so I guess we didn't really have the time, but that cure stuff is entirely pushed to the background, so that's a bit sad. But I enjoyed her in the role when she was on screen. Then after that, we have Donal Logue from Gotham, who portrays Quinn. I guess you could say Frost's main minion guy, his main henchman, the one that we actually get to see. And this guy had so much fun. He had so much fun in the role, you could tell. He had a lot of fun in the role. Also, not at all serious in that sense. I liked him in the movie. I thought he was fun as well. It was like infectious. Then after that, we have Arlie Jover as Mercury, one of Frost's multiple lovers, and also she kind of was more in the main seat in that sense towards the end of the movie, so that's why I am mentioning her. And that is it. That is it for the cast. Overall, I thought everyone did a pretty good job, even though sometimes the movie did kind of let people down. Like the main villain, for example, you know? I mean, he tries, the actor tries, but he doesn't necessarily get material, and then the end is just, it's funny. It is funny. Oh my god, the CGI. Like, really? Oh, man. I know that this was almost like 20... This was like 28 years ago. Are you kidding me? This movie came out 28 years ago. But, like, I know that it came out 28 years ago. But the CGI just looks so funny in this movie, you know? It looks so stupid. I mean, like, for most of the movie, they use CGI kind of sparingly, and it works. But then at the end of the movie, they're just like, let's go all in, boys. And it's like, no, just don't, okay? It is horrible. But I also love it because it came from that time. Like, I can forgive that kind of stuff. I know, like, it's the same with, like, video game graphics, for example. I know nowadays you got a bunch of people who are like, ew, bad graphics, ew. But then they play hours of Minecraft, which also has technically bad graphics. But whatever, doesn't matter. But they say stuff like that. And I know there are people who will see bad CGI in, like, for example, this movie. They will not make the connection in their brain that it came out 28 years ago. And instead, they're just gonna complain about it. But I loved it. I love the bad CGI. I thought it looked kind of funny as well. It's just so funny. I can't even make examples. We'll get to that in spoiler talk. But I guess we are now done. So final verdict time, baby. So my final verdict for Blade is going to be an 8 out of 10. Overall, I had a blast with this movie. But this movie does have a couple of weak points. Mainly the main villain. I will say that right now. The main villain is one of the weak points in this movie. Like I said, the actor is not a bad actor. It's just like, yeah, not really a memorable villain. Outside of the bad CGI that he gets at the end of the movie, not necessarily a memorable villain. But Wesley Snipes is really good as Blade, and the movie tries. And I'm flabbergasted, people. I'm flabbergasted by the fact that they were able to make this in the 90s, and Marvel cannot do it again. Like, they cannot make a Blade movie in 2025, I guess you could say. Because wasn't that supposed to be the original release date of Blade, like 2025? Doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, that movie, just like, what? How can you just not make a Blade movie? It's just a vampire movie. Why is this so difficult for you people to make? They made 3 back in the day. But whatever, doesn't matter. Still enjoyed this movie very much, and I would recommend anyone to watch this movie. You could probably, if you go to your local like store, you might be able to find like a bin full of DVDs. Maybe in there you find Blade or Blade 2. I would recommend you give them a watch. It's fun. It's a fun movie. You can have a good time. It is also very cursy, which I will have a little bit of an issue with. It curses too much in order to pretend to be edgy and cool, but it comes off like one of my Let's Play videos. Don't be like one of my Let's Play videos. They curse way too much. That's just my other point. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought about Blade in the comment section down below. With that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you have done. Sorry, turn notifications. Don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel link description and at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys next time for Blade 2. Bye.